Hey everyone, welcome to Mindful Moments with Megan. I am Megan. You are here today for a 5-minute warm up for the lower body, legs, and hips. So if you're taking this prior to another flow that you're about to jump into, or maybe a run or a bike ride, or maybe just loosening up those tight hamstrings like me, welcome. I have my mat, I have blocks, which might come in handy today, blanket for under the knees if necessary, but otherwise, let's dive right in and we're going to get started today in a child's pose. So find that nice, comfortable, restorative posture. Knees on the outer edges of the mat, big toes to touch, hips back, and just walk the hands forward. If you're not quite ready to come all the way down just yet, maybe prop a block underneath the forehead and just take a few moments to find your breath. Connect to your mat, connect to your body, connect to your breathing. And take those nice deep inhales, sending that fresh oxygen right to the hips, filling up the belly with each inhale, and let it go. And I welcome you to stay in this child's pose for as long as you need, or start to walk your hands back up. Let's meet in a tabletop position. Keep those blocks handy, but we don't need them quite yet. If you like to use your blanket under your knees just for a little additional support, that's always okay. Let's take a couple rounds of cat-cow here just to loosen up the low back. When you're ready, inhale, lift your gaze, lift your tail, and exhale, round the spine. Bring that chin to your chest, pushing away with the mat. Inhale, drop the belly. And exhale, pushing away. Maybe a couple more rounds at your pace with your breath. Inhale, lift, and exhale, release. Find that neutral spine, neutral tabletop again. Once you're ready, check your alignment, that your shoulders are stacked over your wrists, hips are stacked over your knees. We're going to bring that right leg forward into a low lunge. So bringing your right toes in between your hands, maybe scooch the left knee back just a bit. And this is a great place to start with our blocks. Just take a moment to kind of sink the hips into that lunge. And when you're ready, block or no block, dump the weight into your left hand, reach up with the right for that spinal twist. Try to keep your right foot flat on your mat. We have a tendency to want to open up that hip a little bit, but for now, let's just try to keep that foot down, really wringing out that spine. Big inhale, and exhale, bring the hands back down to your mat or to the blocks. And from here, start to shift your hips back, bring your toes up towards the ceiling for a half split, really feeling a nice deep stretch in the hamstrings here. And a couple different ways we can do this. One is you can stay right here and hold on to that deep stretch, or maybe you want to flow it with me. Inhale, coming forward to that lunge, lifting the chest, and exhale, sinking the hips back to that half split. And move at your own pace. In, coming forward, and exhale, sinking back. One of my favorite ways to loosen up the hamstrings, loosen up the legs. And once you're back in that lunge, and if you're holding that half split, come back to the lunge. We're going to swing that right leg back around to our tabletop. Maybe take a round of cat-cow here just to reset. Come back to our breath. But find that neutral spine again, okay? And stay right where you are. I'm going to turn myself around just so I'm facing you. And this time we're going to bring the left foot forward and scooch that right knee back just a bit, okay? And again, mat or block, your choice here, whatever feels comfortable. We are warming up, dumping the weight into the right hand, left arm reaches up towards the sky. Maybe bring your gaze with it if that feels okay on your neck. Maybe you have a neutral neck, maybe looking down at your mat. And bring that left hand down to meet the right. And again, blocks or no blocks. We're going to start in that lunge, lifting the chest, and exhale, sink the hips back to that half split. And same options here, holding your half split if that feels good, or maybe flow, inhale to that lunge, and exhale, sink the hips back. And let it feel good, releasing any tension in the lower half. And once again, bringing the hands back down, swinging the left leg back to meet the right. Bring those knees to the outer edges. Let's sink back to that child's pose. Option for the block if you'd like, just for a moment here. And on your next exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips up and back for that downward dog. Fingertips nice and wide on the mat. And maybe pedal the legs out a bit. And trying to send the heels down towards the mat best you can. They don't quite make it there yet, no big deal. Reverse it this time. Let's walk our hands back to meet our feet. And just let your head hang heavy here in that forward fold. Feet can be about hips distance apart, or you can heel toe your feet together so big toes are touching. Gentle bend in the knees. Maybe grab opposite elbows and give yourself a little sway back and forth. And release the hands back down. Walk the hands back out to that downward dog. And drop the knees one last time into our child's pose. And feel free to stay in that child's pose for as long as you need today. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for practicing with me.